With that said, let me just go ahead and get the beginning. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. It's Pastor Dowell. Now, do y'all remember Standing Rock? You remember it was the Sioux tribe up there in the Dakotas that they weathered the storms of the winter. They stood out there the whole time to fight against tyranny, to fight against oppression, to fight against the powers that be, in order to make the powers that be, who have all this money and machinery, to stop desecrating their land, their streams. They're trying to keep just these are the indigenous people of this land who came and had over 50 million people slaughtered by the Europeans. And the Europeans made over 400 something treaties with them and did not keep one of them. And have since then been using statutory law, not ecclesiastical law, to continue to keep decimating these people. So anyway, they come in with the big guns, they come in with a president that's business-minded, Donald J. Trump. And I wonder how much news media coverage that this particular article is going to get. In case if it doesn't, I'm going to go ahead and give it to you myself. Now, what had happened is that these people went up there, and many people came up there. People came up there, and many of them was armed, had guns, and do I remember that they had guns? Well, I know that the feds and everybody else had guns. All right? But the Standing Rock Sioux tribe got victory. The court finds that approval of Dakota access pipeline violated the law. Now, that's letting you know that the president don't give a damn about the law, even though he wants to enforce the law. Just like Jeff Sessions. He didn't give a damn about the law when he was in making up laws and enforcing laws against other people, but now that it's his head and his ass in a sling, he expects for the law to be able to support him simply because he has power and position. But anyway, in a victory, it says this. It says, the Standing Rock Sioux tribe won a significant victory today in its fight to protect the tribe's drinking water and ancestral lands from the Dakota access pipeline. Now, with that, we got to ask ourselves this. We understand we have a lot of modern day conveniences in this time that we're living in. But is America or Azeroth, is it better off or worse off since the occupiers came and took place in this land? Because the streams are polluted, the rivers are polluted, the land is decimated, the food is poisoned, with all these GMOs and everything else. And I don't blame them. They're fighting for the last bastion of what they call freedom, which is property, land rights, all right? A federal judge ruled that the federal permit authorized the pipeline to cross the Missouri River just upstream of the Standing Rock Reservation. So it's got to make you wonder, okay, what type of judges? Are these judges judging based on payouts, briberies, under the table backroom deals? Are they really truly judging for law? I mean, that's the reason why you cannot trust this system. Okay, but let me go on without trying to interject and intervene here. All right, I know a lot of people love my commentary. All right, which were hastily issued by the Trump administration just days after his inauguration, violated the law in certain critical respects. Okay, here it is. In a 91-page decision, Judge James Boasberg wrote, the court agrees that, quote-unquote, the corpse did not adequately consider the impacts of an oil spill on fishing rights, hunting rights, environmental justice, or agree to which the pipeline's effect are likely to be highly controversial. The court did not determine whether the pipeline operations should be shut off, and has requested additional briefings on the subject and status conference next week. This is a major victory for the tribe, and we commend the courts for upholding the law and doing the right thing, said Standing Rock Sioux Chairman Dave Archambault, I guess that's his name, the second, I don't know, in a recent statement. The previous administration painstakingly considered the impacts of the pipeline, and President Trump hastily dismissed these careful environmental considerations in favor of political and personal interests. We applaud the courts for protection of the laws and regulations from undue political influence. and will ask the court to shut down the pipeline operation immediately. Now, you know, I'm telling you right now, this ain't over, because it's going to be a war, because these people are putting time, energy, effort, and money into this. And you know, greed is the spirit of America. They don't care about land rights, property rights, freedom, liberty, you know, having streams that are not polluted, fish that you can eat that ain't diseased and got snake venom and monkey pus and all type of PEDs flowing out of them and stuff, bodies disfigured and stuff. You catch a fish, you look at it, you throw that dang thing back, you're like, what the hell was that? Oh, man. The tribe's inspiring and courageous fight has attracted international attention and drawn the support from hundreds of tribes around the nations. You know, never mind, I can't help but digress. I've got to, because Duterte, that's the Philippines president, one of the things that was on the agenda is that Donald J. Trump was going to go over and speak to them about their so-called quote-unquote human rights violation. But Donald Trump didn't do it. You know the reason why? He left some of his staff members to try to do it, because Duterte had said some time ago, and he had told the people in America, first of all, number one, you keep your nose out of our business. You have no right to ask us about human rights violations, considering the way you treat the slaves and considering the way that the blacks are dying at an unprecedented level on your streets by the police force. Don't even talk to me about human rights. And that's the reason why Donald Trump didn't even approach the subject. Didn't approach the subject because he knew that the man was right. You see, in the international community, I keep telling folks, you know, I've traveled much, and therefore I know a little bit of something. The Bible even says that man travel much, he knows much. The international community don't look at the United States of America the way that the news media has propagandized and mesmerized you and got you thinking the way, and they try to shape your mind the way they think it ought to be according to their perspective and the way they see things. But the whole entire world sees what's going on here in America. It ain't pretty. So I just thought I'd tell you that, okay? Where was I at? The tribe is represented by the nonprofit environmental law firm Earth Justice, which filed a lawsuit challenging the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers for issuing a permit for the pipeline construction in violation of several environmental laws. The decision marks an important turning point. Until now, the rights of the Standing Rock Sioux tribe have been disregarded by the builders of the Dakota Access Pipeline and the Trump administration. Now, what I would say is that, you see, this world knows, this nation knows, the government knows, and that's why we live that way. If rather than putting people in tribal environments, if we can keep people divided and conquered and give them this American spirit that we're all one, while we're sending their children off to warrantless wars and coming back in body bags and using them as cannon fodder. But we the rich, we have our nation called America, which they have a dream of, and they wish they could be part of us. That's why they're clamoring to have our millions and billions of dollars. But if the one thing we need to do is continue to keep these serfs, these idiots, these uncouth, dumb people, keep them from mobilizing, keep them from being on one accord, because when they get on one accord, you get people like Waco. And you don't even have to be on one accord to be in Waco. You'll get a Randy Weaver. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just go ahead and check all that out. And if they really truly not one accord, and we just trump up lies and stuff, and we'll go invade a country like Iraq in the first Gulf War, second Gulf War. And then if we just want your resources, Afghanistan, Niger, you go on and on and on. I think you get the picture. But what I'm saying is that it would have been nice if every single American indigenous Indian went up there armed. That's what the Second Amendment is for, armed. And if anybody, whether they wearing a uniform or not, I mean, let's ask yourself a question. Can a citizen or a denizen arrest someone that is trespassing on their land, that's trying to tear it up? Can they? I mean, some of you attorneys, or some of you lawyers, some of you judges out there, I know that you watch my YouTube channel. Answer that question for the people so they'll know, because you can make a citizen's arrest provided they're trespassing on your land. All the Indians should have went up there armed to the hilt to make sure that this type of tyranny doesn't take place. Now, am I out of touch with the way that I think? Is my reason illogical, or is it right in line with the Bill of Rights and the Constitution? I'm asking you, and that's the reason why I'm interjecting this right now, because I realize that we as a people, that we have been seriously oppressed, and we don't know if we're coming or going in this country right here. It's just a sad, sad thing. It's just the truth. All right. What I'm talking about. The decision marks an important turning point. Until now, the rights of the Standing Rock Sioux tribe have been disregarded by the builders of North Dakota Access Pipeline, and Trump administration, prompting a well-deserved global outcry, said Earth Justice Attorney John Hasselman. The federal courts have stepped in where our political systems have failed to protect the rights of Native communities. True. Now we got to ask, are these kangaroo courts really of the people, for the people, and by the people? And if they're not, do we have to obey them? Because my answer is, I don't think these rigged courts that are making laws as they go and using the law to commit heinous crimes against the American people and the original Aborigines people of this land, Aborigines of the land, do you think that we should obey this kind of mess? People fought for less than this. I mean, at the Boston Tea Party, we went to war over 1 cent tax. 1 cent tax. And look at what we do. We all but roll over today. But anyway, the court ruled against the tribe on several other issues, finding that the reversal allowing the pipeline complied with the law in some respects. All right, now here's the key right here. Look at this. The $3.8 billion pipeline project, also known as the Bacon Oil, big oil, there it is, pipeline, extends 1,168 miles across North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa, and Illinois, crossing through communities, farms, tribal lands. That's the key right there, tribal lands. Sensitive natural areas of wildlife habitat. The pipeline would carry up to, look, watch this, 570,000 barrels a day of crude oil from the Bacon oil fields in North Dakota to Illinois, where it links with another pipeline that will transport the oil to terminals and refineries along the Gulf of Mexico. Wow. Now, here it is. Since you're here, it says, we have a small favor to ask. More people are reading the indigenous people of America than ever, but advertising revenue across the media are falling. And unlike many news organizations, we have put up a paywall and want to keep our journalism as open as we can. So, you can see why we need to ask for your help. Indigenous people of America is independent, investigative journalism. Takes a lot of time, money, and hard work to produce. But we do it because we believe our perspective matters, because it might well be your perspective too. If anyone who reads our reporting and who likes it helps to pay for it, our future will be more secure. Get closer to the indigenous people of America, be part of our story, and become a supporter alternatively, and you can make a one-time contribution. I'm going to check that out and see what they're talking about, because that's just something I'm interested in right there, and that's for sure. I'm interested in that. Well, anyway, tell me what you think. Your murmuring, gripes, thoughts, complaints, and stuff. Can you really, truly see what's really happening with us as a people in this world today? Can you really, truly see it? If not, also explain that perspective too. But you know what? Let's see if the news media is going to point this on the mainstream kangaroo, wicked government-controlled news media. Fox, NBC, CNN, ABC, all these other channels. Let's just see, all right?